All right, welcome back, YouTube. As you can see, got the Courier on the lift, and my buddy Chris here, my head mechanic friend. We're going to get a little work done. I mean, you can probably already see, I've already got a little work done off cameras. I'll go over all that stuff as well, but there's some of the things here, I just feel more comfortable with two people. We're going to do flywheel installation, so someone has to hold the flywheel while the other person torques it because I don't have like a fixture tool or anything. Same thing for the crank pulley. We're going to put that on. That needs to be torqued, and with it in the truck, it's just easier with a second set of hands, and also he helps me get rid of some cervezas while he's here.
Oh yeah.
First things first, we mentioned crank pulley. Check this out. On the crank here, it has this little keyway, and this is actually an aftermarket one we just installed, and it's longer. It comes with this little spacer. That'll go in there like that, and that makes sure that keyway stays locked into the crank pulley. This is the original keyway, and only about, I don't know, maybe 3/8 of an inch was sticking out, and these are known to spin, and if it spins on the crank pulley, you got a mess. This is a $27 Amazon eBay situation. Just prevents this whole problem. That goes in there, a little Loctite, torque it to, I don't know, till my shoulder pops twice. Should be good to go. Next thing we're going to look at doing, flywheel clutch. Went with ACT for two reasons. One, this flywheel, we got this on a bargain. I was down at the Summit Racing in McDonough, waiting on my order to be pulled, and so I just started, doing like every car guy, especially the cheap ones like me, and started moseying around the clearance section. I see a Miata flywheel on the clearance section. I think it was normally $339 for this particular one, and had it for like $120. That's a no-brainer. Never been used. It looks like it was bolted. It said on the discount sticker that it was a demo, and you could tell it was bolted up to something. I'm thinking it's one they probably just bolted up to the display rack or whatever. There's two versions of the lightweight. I'm not a fan of extremely lightweight flywheels. They make the RPMs drop a lot when you're shifting, and the heavier flywheels keep them spun up. With this being a turbo thing that isn't going to make a lot of horsepower, I wanted it a little bit lighter. That'll help us a little bit lighter. It won't drop RPMs a ton like the super lightweight version. Anyway, if that wasn't confusing enough, it's going to help us out. It was a bargain. I didn't have a flywheel anyway. Chris would have found one for me, but we had to get it surfaced, and I don't know, upgrade. It's just better. Because we have ACT flywheel, I only felt that it was fitting to run an ACT clutch as well, and they're just really good clutches. You can see this one is the, what do they call this one? Performance Street. This was rated at 300 foot-pounds of torque. Well, we're not going to be making that. I mean, we're shooting for like 300 horse. It'll probably make 250 torque. We'll be good to go on this. Comes with throwout bearing, alignment tool, release bearing, and obviously pressure plate. Yeah. We got our mount here we made, cross member we made, energy suspension mount. All this was coated by Harris Custom Coatings. Well, that looks really nice. That's their signature satin black. Nothing makes your welds look better than a nice coat of satin black. That turned out really cool. Now let's get all that in there. The front suspension here is mostly wrapped up. Just a quick little review. Circuit Sports uppers that we painted black, which are adjustable for extra camber adjustment. Our Max Pitting Rods T7 coilovers. We did Moog lower ball joints, Moog tie rod ends. That ball joint came with the upper, not have to worry about that. And we actually, let's see if I can turn it here, modified the steering arm here. So where the tie rod pickup point is, I cut that, shortened it, re-welded it, and gusseted it right here. And you can see how much additional steering angle that gets. I mean, yeah, that's a good bit of angle. While the primary purpose of this truck is not drifting, let's face it, it's going to get drifted. And angle isn't really a necessity, but it's a nice tool to have. Yeah, it's just more fun. I'm not a big proponent of it if you're learning, but I've been doing this a little while, and it's just more fun. For brakes, this car had dang near brand new rotors. It still has the factory little machine grooves in it. just kind of, and they had surface rust. Just kind of knocked that off, painted the edges, painted the hatch, just so it looks a little more, I don't know, presentable. Church it up a little bit. Same thing with the calipers. These were actually new, but they were silver. Painted those black, all that, detailed it up. You know, as much as I can justify for this truck. And for pads, we're going to run the Hawk HPS in the front. And here's the part number on that guy. In the back though, we're running the Hawk HP Plus. Now, for those that are familiar, the HP Plus is a more aggressive pad than the HPS. We do that, or I do that, because I like the way it feels. I like the way a more aggressive front brake pad feels with the proportioning valve turned down, and we let the rear pad do more work than the pressure itself. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that we're going to have an inline handbrake, and I like how that feels better. Just, this is personal preference. If you like all the same pads, awesome. If you have no experience with this, I mean, it's I think the pads are $110. It's worth it, you know, worth the chance to try it if you have an adjustable portion valve. That's key here, so that you can dial it back. Otherwise, if you have a stronger rear pad than front, under normal braking, it's going to want to lock the rears up. But as we remember, the front does 70% of the braking in a normal proportionate valve situation anyway. I don't know, just my personal thing. Something I found years ago. I heard from actually a road racer guy. I tried it, I loved it, and all my performance cars are set up like that way. Trans is in. That was kind of a booger bear. Luckily, Chris was here. We got her put into place. Just a real tight fit. That's good. Missing a couple trans bolts. I may or may not have lost those. My bad, but luckily we got some more over at Chris's house. The trans cross members in, powder coated by Harris Custom Coatings, looking good. Everything's tight there, polyurethane mount, everything's, yeah, all of that's done. Went ahead and got the drive shaft set up here, just checking it out before we paint it. Every drive shaft shop differs slightly how they like the measurements. I'm going to show you how my drive shaft shop likes it, and I think it's going to be the most common way of doing it. Just a quick little rundown. You're going to slide the yoke all the way in the transmission until it bottoms out, and then you're going to back it back out 3/4 to 1 inch, just depending on the application. Then you'll have your rear flange bolted up all the way, and you're going to measure from the center line of the universal joint here to the center line of the universal joint of the yoke. Once they have that information, they know how to math the rest of it, and yeah, there you go. Now, there is some different size tubes to go by. What they usually ask me is how much power, how much torque, and what am I using it for, and that'll give them an idea of what size tube to go with. I want to say that's 2 3/4. Also, the length has a big it plays a big part in it. There's a thing called critical speed. It's the point in which the drive shaft starts to like flex, and they have a whole chart, way to calculate it. I give them all the information, they tell me what I need, because at the end of the day, they're the experts and I'm only just kind of winging it. All right, we just got a big shipment of parts in. I hate paying the bill, but I love seeing them show up. Most of this stuff, well, actually all of this stuff is fuel related. Now, this car, while it won't be making a ton of power, shooting for the 300 range, I want more fuel system than I need. I've seen so many people go to get their stuff tuned and they run out of fuel pump, they run out of injector, they're wasting dyno time, they're wasting the tuner's time. Not me. I'm going above and beyond what I need. Even though I do plan on running ethanol, I'm still running even more than I think I need for that. I'll show you what I got so far. The heart of the fuel system is going to be this guy right here. This is a TI Innovations, which is formerly Warborough. That's their 450, aka Hellcat pump. That's going to be supplying through our sending unit here, which is, it's a universal piece for our universal tank. We just take and we trim these straws to fit, depth wise, put the sock on, all that. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Get back in there. That'll be the pump. We're going to have a 100 micron stainless steel reusable filter. As you see, all these black and green boxes are from Radium. We're not affiliated with them. I'm just a big fan of their stuff. All aluminum body. Like I said, serviceable, so you can unscrew the ends, clean it out. The cool little bracket here that is sold separate. but gotta have it. That, let's see, fuel pressure regulator. Their regulator is really stinking cool. You see the knob on top, you just twist that to adjust the pressure. Super simple. Fuel rail, fuel pulse dampener. Now, in case you haven't seen these are pretty impressive. This helps level out the pulses from the pump. The pump doesn't make a smooth, constant pressure. It's got pulses to it. And the dampener helps, like if the pulses are waves, the dampener helps smooth those waves out so that the injectors don't get fired on highs or lows, because that could affect the spray pattern and the volume that is spraying. And if it's more single, like steady flow, steady pressure, then it's going to be more accurate. At least that's what everyone tells me. Apparently these motors are specifically susceptible to issues with that. No, it was only like another, I hate to say it, it's only like another $100 and something. This thing is $100 and something me to death. We also have some fittings. We have a bracket to bolt that up. Yeah, and then injectors. Went with Dutchworks, however you want to call that, DW1000s. Yeah, these should be more than enough for 300 horse on ethanol. Same thing with this. I mean, I've heard of people making, like, I think my buddy Matt's got one of these in his twin turbo Z, and he's making like 600 wheel in a LS, and that's what he runs. I want plenty of fuel system. I'm going to consider this motor almost, I hate to say it, almost like the sacrificial lamb. I'm going to make 300 horse with it. People say that you can't with stock rods. They say that like 275 is the limit. No, numbers got to start with a 3. And it's stock. Stock head gasket, stock everything. We'll see. Luckily, I know where there's another motor at. If I end up blowing the head gasket or tacoing the rods, whatever may or may not happen, next one is going to get rods, pistons, good gasket, ARPs, blah, blah, blah. And then we'll have plenty of fuel system still if we want to turn this up, and maybe the next number starts with a 4. I don't know. Maybe 300's perfect balance. There's a whole balance factor when it comes to building cars. There's a certain point of diminishing returns with power. If it feels really good at 3, it may feel better at 4. It may feel worse at 4. If it feels really good at 4, it may feel great at 5. It may feel terrible at 5. I don't know. We can't fit a huge tire under it. We'll figure it out as we go. If you got to buy a fuel pump anyway, a minimum of a 340 pump probably, and the 450 is, I don't remember, like $80 more. And then with injectors, you want to get the better injectors. So if you got like 600s, the 1000s I think are only, I think they're saying they're like $80 or $100 more for the 1000s. Just go ahead and get the big dogs. Buy once, cry once. Today's goal, we're going to get the fuel pump fitted onto the sending unit, installed in the tank. We're going to lay out where we want the fuel pressure regulator, lay out where we want the filter, and just kind of get everything planned. I didn't buy any fittings, any of the AN line fittings. I didn't buy any line because at this point it would just be a crapshoot. There's so many fittings that maybe I want a 45, maybe I want a 30, maybe I need a 180. I don't know. If I would buy fittings at $17 to $20 a piece and then change my mind and have 4 or 5 left over, this is already an expensive thing. We're not really in a rush. As much as I'd love to get this thing done and get to enjoying it, I'd rather be smart, take my time, build it once, and not waste a bunch of money on fittings I don't need. And returning stuff is honestly just kind of a pain in the butt. Oddly enough, the sending unit didn't come with a gasket and hardware, and neither did the tank. Make sure if you use tank sink kit, make sure you get that. I don't know if they left it out of one of the packages, but I had to order that. Whatever. It's here now. This is what the sending unit assembly looks like put together. Wires just pass through there. You tighten those up, which I haven't done yet because I'm just kind of mocking this up and making sure none of this is pulling or acting crazy. Yeah. And it's just a matter of feeding this down in there. Little by little, and it's kind of a booger bear. And I'll probably need my second hand to get the harness through, but you get the point. Feed it down through there, and you can point these outlets any direction you want. These are going to go kind of like that, so it shoots me straight forward. And the plan is to go down the passenger side frame rail with all the fuel lines. Then I'll put a little connector on that. Yeah, pretty simple. Just follow the instructions. The black straw that holds the pump, you do have to heat that up before you slide it over. It's all in the instructions. It's real simple. You've got it. Prime example of why I don't buy my fittings first. I had these laying around, and you can see we go from 1/4 inch pipe to 6 AN, and look, it makes it stick up at like a 45-degree angle because of the stack up here. And a 45 won't even fit on this at all. Now, granted, it's not tight. There may be a thread or so left in there, but I mean, you see right there, a 45 wouldn't even fit. This is why I don't buy fittings first. Luckily, got on Summit, and they make a 90-degree that has the 1/4 inch MPT already made into it. Effectively, it would be, I don't know, like that long probably, which would help our clearance issues and make it sit down a lot more. And I'm even going to look and see, maybe they got a 45. Yeah, maybe something like that. That'd be kind of cute. Got to get on Summit and dig around. But this is why we plan things out first. Well, par for the course. We ran into our first problem already. Trying to bolt the fuel rail down here, we use the factory spacers like it says in the instructions. Put the lubrication on the O-rings. You put it down, and it doesn't go all the way down. Took everything back out and measured it. These injectors are like 3/16 of an inch longer than the stock ones. That's not going to work. It's Saturday night, no way to get anyone on the phone. We'll just keep moving forward. In an effort to be productive, we assembled the fuel pressure regulator with a mount, the plugs, a straight ORB fitting on the bottom, a 90 swivel. This thing's pretty sweet. That's going to be on the side, and all the ports are labeled, as you can see on the bottom. It's a really nice piece. Vacuum reference here, and on the back of the rail we put a 90, and we had a 45. We were going to be running the PTFE, so this is just a regular one. This wouldn't work anyway. But just to give us an idea of kind of where to mount things, it'll probably live here-ish. So I'm thinking ultimately on the end of this, there'll be a 30-degree, and on this there'll be either a 30 or 45. I'll probably order both just to see how it flows. You want to leave a little slack. You don't want that to be tight, because as the engine, even though it has polyurethane mounts, as it vibrates and it has a little bit of torque, you don't want that line to be tight, because it'll tear it. It'll end up either tearing the line, breaking a fitting, something. With that being said, the line will kind of have a little bit of a downward loop to it, and that'll be an effort to give it just a little wiggle room. Moving behind the cab here on the inside of the frame rail, the fuel filter, I'm thinking it's going to live somewhere in here. It mounts up to the rail really nice, but if I put it dead center of the rail like this, there's no room to run the return line. Unless I went over it maybe. I think what's going to end up happening here is I'll slide it up, and as you can see, there's the 2 holes at the bottom, 1 at the top. I'll probably drill and tap the rail, mount it like this with that top hole slightly above, and I'll just make a simple L bracket that I can tap at the top and bolt it to the rail. That way, it'll give me room for the return line to slip right below it and not hang below the chassis. The bottom of the chassis is down here, and we're up on the kick-up part right here. And while this won't be a low part for it to hang on anything, I just don't want a fuel line hanging below the frame rail. I don't know. That just bothers me, and it's simply not going to happen. Also, we have to account for our brake line. May scooch that up just a little bit more up in there. All right, Sunday, last day of the work week. Got to get some stuff knocked out on this so we can get a video for you guys. Post it up maybe tonight, most likely tomorrow. But the last big hurdle for this week is I need to get the cab final mounted. And what I mean by that is It's just got bolts ran down in the hole, and there's a little bit of movement. You can probably move the cab around about half an inch in any direction right now. And that's because the stock cab bushings had little collars to center it in the holes on the frame. We can't get stock cab bushings. We're using the universal ones, so there's no collar to center it, so we have to find center. Well, I've measured around and got the back squared up, got the front squared up where I think everything looks right. But I would really hate to do all the connecting things like intercooler piping, steering column, fuel lines, brake lines, all that stuff that connects the chassis to the body if it's a little bit off. And my thought here is, my plan, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it where I think it is, I'm going to snug it up, and then I'm going to actually put the bed on it. And because the bed doesn't lie, the bed is stock. If I put the bed on, all the holes line up, and then I can square it off the back of the cab, and then I know for 100% fact that it's exactly where it needs to be, and I can tighten everything up. I ran down to Tractor Supply this morning, and for those of you that don't know, Tractor Supply is a great source for grade 8 hardware. This bolt at a normal hardware store would be, I don't know, actually, last time I looked at them at Home Depot, they were like $2 or $3 a piece. You can buy grade 8 bolts by the pound. I think it's like $7 a pound for grade 8 bolts. I think it's a pretty good deal. I keep a bunch of split locks, flat washers, nuts, stuff. I keep like a little bolt tray filled up, and I just go refill it down there. To me, it's a lot cheaper. I don't know. Where's everyone else getting their hardware? Because you buy it by the piece, it gets expensive. You just go in there and it's got big bins. You just grab you a handful of flat washers, you throw them in your bin. To me, I don't know, seems like the best bargain. But gotta get this down. Actually, we gotta get Andrew's truck out, this down, out. I'm gonna have to use the lift to raise the bed up because Taylor's not working today. I guess he thinks Sunday's not a work day. I don't know where that came from. And I'm gonna have to use the lift to set the bed on. But also I have to cut out the wheel wells, the radiuses, which I know a lot of y'all aren't gonna like. It is what it is. We'll walk through this and I'll show you why I'm having to do it this way. First time outside with a bed on and 4 matching wheels and tires. Man, this thing looks sweet. Wow. You know, as frustrating as this stuff is sometimes, as hard as it is on the wallet, this first look outside, man, I'm not gonna say it makes it worth it, but it takes a lot of this stress away. You can see how I just kind of rough cut the new fender arch out. And like I was saying, some people was like, oh, just flare the fender out. You can see how the arch came up and it came across like right there. And look how much further it sticks out. There's no way you could flare that, maintain original paint, and it not look absolutely butchered. Just can't happen. I know there are some people out there that could probably come in here and cut this out and make like a factory stepped out looking wide body thing. And I probably could too, but that would require paint, body, all those things that we're just not going to do on this project. We've talked about it, we've debated it. It's going to be flat plastic flares, at least for now. Now, later on, I could always go back and put metal ones on because at the end of the day, they're just going to be little 1/8 inch pop rivets. And the new flares, the ones I found on eBay, they have a small little flange, like a 1/4 inch flange that you could pop rivet there, and it would most likely hide everything. For now, these flares, because honestly, I love the way that the satin black looks. Goes with the black here, black tires. Just making excuses because at the end of the day, I just like them. Imagine though, something about like that right there. Oh yeah, covers the tire perfect. Slide it around till it looks just right. Yeah, I think that right there looks pretty dang sweet. And you can see it's a little close in the middle, but if you take the ends and you kind of pooch them together, also something you probably can't do with metal flares, you pooch those ends together and it brings it out just enough. Come all the way up to that body line. Yeah, I mean, this is the look I was going for. Some of y'all may not like it. I'm sorry, but hey, this is what I envision. That and the old grease rag and the gas tank trick. Front is going to get the same kind of treatment. Satin black. Whoop, come here. Satin black flare, pooched up to look something like that. And I know that gap looks really close because it is. And that's another beauty of the plastic flares is if the tire hits the flare, it's just going to melt it away. You know, in worst case scenario, if it hits it, it's just going to crack it. Whereas if it was a metal flare, it's either going to cut into the tire or it's going to try to rip it off the fender and maybe even bend the fender in the process. Yeah, black plastic it is. I'm going to get these things taped up here somewhat. See if we can get an idea. Oh yeah, also goes with the black at the bottom as well. But speaking of that, we got a little bit of a ride height issue. And let me elaborate. Now, originally, when we set this thing up, when we built all the suspension, mounted the subframes up, did all our math, we decided to do a 3-inch ride height. Well, a 3-inch ride height, it just isn't going to work on this thing. Right now, this is already been raised up to 3.5. 3 is just going to be too low. The suspension geometry in the back, I'm already going to have to modify the upper control arms we bought. Like imagine that, a part on this vehicle that I don't have to modify or replace twice. I have to modify those a little bit because they're already going to contact the factory part of the subframe in the back. Not even what I put there, but the factory part is going to hit that. Those are going to have to be modified. The front, the front, we're going to have some angle issues with the control arms. Yeah, it's going to have to live at more of a 3.5 or 4-inch ride height. This is 3.5 right here. And while it does clear the fender arch in the front by like a 1/4 inch, we're going to radius it up anyway, put the flares on it because I just want it to match. Right now we're at about a 3 3/8, 3.5 inch ride height. You can see here in the tire, there's not a lot, but we'll radius that up, put the flare on. The rockers, they are higher. I want to say they're more of a 6-inch ride height. I honestly didn't measure them, but them being black makes it look lower. And I am so glad everyone out there in the YouTube world bullied me into making those bed extensions. It just flows so much better and makes it look lower. Glad I did that. All in all, I'm real happy with these things turning out. It is sweet. I haven't even looked at the inside in a while. Now that the cab is squared up, everything measures out really nice. Went with 1/2-inch bolts, grade 8, polyurethane bushings in between. Everything's nice and sturdy, other than the door's not having latches. Everything's sturdy, everything's good. We can go start putting our controls in. Don't have to worry about the steering column moving around. Intercooler pipes can be done. Yeah, all the things that correspond. Power steering. There's still so much to do. Next projects on the list, I want to try to get all the forward controls done, meaning steering column mounted, steering shaft mounted, hooked, finalized. Brake master, clutch master, get those in there. At least get the clutch plumbed. That way we can put it in gear, help keep it parked around places. We need to figure out a catch can location. Got a can, just got to figure out where to put it. Power steering, reservoir location. We've got the turbo just kind of set up there. I've got it covered up with a towel right now just to keep dust and debris out of it. We'll show you that probably in the next episode. It's really cool. Harris Custom Coatings. They did some new experimental stuff on there. Turned out really sweet. Yeah, there is a ton of work left to do. But for now, I'm happy. Saturday afternoon, the sun's going down. It's only like 4:45 and it's already looking like 6 o'clock out here. You gotta love time change. Let's see if we can get these flares on here. Yeah. Yep. Just as I'd hoped. Woohoo! Yes, sir. Would you look at this? Now, I just use black electrical tape. To me, it doesn't stand out as bad as like blue painter's tape or the bright banana yellow stuff. Man, this is exactly what I envisioned. Holy cow. Yes, now, like we talked about, these are going to be pooched up so that edge will be brought back so there won't be a gap there, and it'll push the center out. But, I mean, come on. You can envision this. You can just envision this guy rolling up. Imagine the grill end, seeing the little intercooler poking out behind. I'm going to do a little side exit exhaust through the bedside right there. That looks going to be sweet. And the flares. Whew. Yeah. Center caps in. And these, if you notice these little bullet lug nuts, that's just the only 12 150 lug nuts I had laying around. It'll get the BBS replica center caps put in it. That is so stinking sweet. Wow. Like I said, there's times when I absolutely get the wind ripped out of my sails by the wrong injectors on a Saturday where you can't even call tech support and see what's going on. Aftermarket control arms are supposed to fix the problem, a notorious problem on these that states that it fixes it, doesn't fix it. Cuts on your fingers, busted knuckles, parts you can't find, like a vent window. There's things that just get you so frustrated and down. But that first time when you roll something out in the parking lot and you get to look at it at ride height with the wheels on it, yeah, I'm fired back up. I thought for a hot second that I was going to put this thing in timeout again. I really need to get working on that thing some more. We're real close to being done with Andrew's truck. If you haven't seen that, 66 C10 body, basically, on a circle track, like full real deal circle track asphalt race truck, but with old body on it. I'm probably, if he brings me all the parts I need, 4 to 5 days from being done with that thing. So it's going to get a little attention because this thing needs probably 4 to 5 weeks of stuff because I'm way overcomplicating it. But there it is. I hope y'all love it as much as I do. I appreciate all of the positive feedback. I know I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The kind comments, the positive reinforcement, all that stuff, that's what keeps me going with this. We're not a big channel, but we're having big fun doing this. I'm glad that everyone else is enjoying it. Yeah, people that are buying the shirts, it's what pays to build these things. I mean, if you would love to, if you'd like to get one, they're on our website. Support us. If not, a simple thumbs up. Hey, that's support enough. We love it. We love y'all. We thank y'all. You know, hey, I'm just, as you can probably tell, over the moon happy with this right now. I got to get it put away. Actually, got to swap places with these. Get these put away. Got to get home in a decent hour. Stop by the grocery store on the way, or be in trouble with Amber. But hey, like, share, subscribe. You know the deal. We'll see you next time. Next video, it's going to be pretty cool. Something different. But stick around for that. See ya.